Good morning, everyone. Very good morning. This is going to be a humongous topic, but it's a very simple topic, very essential for us. And I put my lot of effort to this so that it will at least touch some people. Generally, they take it for granted, but these things have to be explored together, experienced together, and then bring it to really manifesting or living here and now. Then you will have real meaning for these um, important talks that we do. So be here and now. That is what I say every time I do the morning routine every day. Anyway, good morning. For those people who don't know me, I am Dr. Rao Kolusu. I'm a physician trained initially in India and came here and got trained more. And I have been living in America since 1981. And I've been uh, practicing for so many years. I don't remember how many years also. But the practice was good. And finally, when I got rid of it, also it was the height of the practice. And it was more like uh, convenient for me to get out of the mess that was going to come to practices of such nature after the COVID. Just before the COVID, I had the opportunity. Somebody came and buy my practice and gave it to them. And now I'm kind of CEO and CFO of a organized wellness company established in 2020 online, obviously. And I provide services that help people to battle stress, develop strategies to come out of the stress and be resilient inside, burnout of the doctors and the nurses, and uh, stress of IT professionals and entrepreneurs, and also really train the corporate leaders, with that kind of servant leadership that they could be an asset to other people, not a burden for themselves and the company and all that. So um, I think these are important things, not because I am doing them, but I think they are important needs of them. I by myself, I at this stage, I don't have to do anything. I just help myself, go into my deeper, uh, all the uh, deeper aspects of life and reflecting and then immersed in the blissful joy of meditative awareness. I'm blessed to touch and then build on that. So it's nothing special, but except that you are really able to um, touch that aspect of life where you could really get into the important aspects of life and then contribute to life and also enjoy life too. So I'm at that stage of life. So um, I do understand wellness far better now than I was first went into medical school. The medical school taught us about the scientific medicine, modern medicine. That was all okay. But then much of the um, you know scientific medicine cannot really help us to be not chronically ill because they focus on the symptoms and the acute. Okay, they're okay. That itself handfuls of them. And then also society as a whole should look into what we are doing here. What is that we want to do for our lifestyles? What is that we are doing wrongly? And then correct it. So in that way, I found myself to be enamored by an ancient way of living, and they were living longer. Average age was like 120 years, and they were living well, and they were not neurotic like us. That's for sure. So that leads to the topic of today: meditation. Is it working for you or not? And what do you understand by meditation? What is understanding of meditative state? what is really calming the mind is nothing but just whapping it down, whack-a-mole, right? And it comes back. Okay, but meditation used to be a bad word in the past in the United States. Even when I came into this country, 1981, only few segment of population were familiar with the word meditation. British brought in a lot in the 60s, and the guru who taught meditation, Prabhudeva, he was in New York, and he was the founder of the ISKCON, and so he was teaching them all this meditative way of calming the down and mindful awareness and all that. Then he went back to India to visit his folks, and there everybody gathered around him and said, "What is that you are teaching them? It's not real meditation. Real meditation is something more spiritual, much more inner awakening, and really understanding who we are, establishing in that. To get to that, you want the mind to be calm. That's what people are doing, right? Now, how is that you don't teach them that, but you are teaching some fantastic kind of uh, stuff that is not going to take them anywhere? And so he was kind of gave an answer very. I'm teaching them what they want to do, so that eventually they will come to do what I would like them to do. So start them slow, start them something easier, start them something they could understand and do, and then grow into deeper awareness of themselves, and then you'll be able to do the really very exotic Eastern practices. But then the life itself is complicated here. There was a lot of stress and all. So meditation as a whole became a very flourishing thing in USA because of certain reasons. I'm going to give you a few of them, and let just make you understand how the meditation is trying to improve the mental illness, and also whether it has succeeded or not, we will say, and then we will go into what is the ancient way of meditation, how is that relevant to us in this age, and you know that's what I wanted to appeal to you guys. This is an important talk if you are mentally you know always chattering, or you have stress, and you have a lot of anxiety, and you cannot sleep. All those things are there, right? So why meditation has become such a big deal is um, stress became the modern epidemic. We all know that, right? America, which is fast, hungry, and noisy, quite noise all over, right? So it created a collective nervous system that is stretched thin. Okay, meditation arrived like a cool river running through a heated desert. Okay, so people felt relief not from belief but from experience of mind calming down. So the like the sun touching a frozen lake, meditation warmed the national emotional climate. Okay, nothing derogatory, but that's a fact of life. That is what we could see. And the second thing was science began to confirm what rishis knew for centuries. MRI studies, heart rate variation data. People have experienced that all the time. And cortisol research. These things, they became the new scriptures. Okay? When Harvard, NIH, UCSF, and MIT, they validated the effects of meditation. That allowed millions to trust what yogis had embodied for millennia. That silence heals, breath resets the nervous system, and awareness rewires. Okay, you can do the plastic plasticity, neuroplasticity, just by rewiring with your awareness, right? So meditation was embraced by USA because it proved itself in the language America respects. That is measurable impact. You can take a person who is nervous, who is anxious, who is having heart rate variability, and you can teach them deep breathe and then focus on the breath and calm their mind down. They will see the data right reflecting. Heart rate stabilized, nervous symptoms have stabilized, and they have evidence right in front. That is what they could measure, right? So that's the second reason. And third reason was secular spirituality that fit the American mind. So meditation here in America evolved beyond religion. It became mindfulness at school desks and breathwork in corporate boardrooms and calming apps in the pockets of millions. Calm app and other things. And then therapy integrated practices. Many practices include the therapy, right? So it turned out into a bridge, accessible, universal, and democratic. That fits the American framework very well, right? So people are you don't have to become a religion, you don't have to adapt any particular thing and all that. You could really help yourself. And then technology. This amplified the transmission. Apps like Calm, Headspace, and Insight Timer awakened millions. Artificial intelligence, ironically, is bringing people back to their breath. Okay? Meditation has succeeded not in spite of technology, but through it. Okay? So your dream of AI-powered proactive wellness, that is my dream, stands aligned with this wave. That's why I use AI, I use the technology to really measure what I'm doing and also correct them accordingly. Okay, and then there is a individualistic culture in the America which needed inner ground. Okay, so this is a land built on self-reliance and personal freedom. Meditation offered the ultimate inner self-reliance, freedom from thought storms, from reactivity, from the tyranny of burnout. They all experience these things inside, right? And that's really from them. So it empowers people to become the master of their internal weather. Meditation empowers people to become the master of their internal weather. Sometimes really big storm is going on, sometimes very quiet. Okay, so now we want to see where is this meditation heading next and what's my role in it. Okay, so I believe we are trying to position into the next revolution. Okay, that is what I'm trying to do. So from mindfulness to awareness based living, and from practice to presence, from symptom relief to self-realization. These are the lofty goals of the yogis that they have realized, but because they had a simpler life and rich inner compass, they were able to do that. So we can do that in some way. I'm a proof for that, So I'm trying to present my experience, how I did and all that. Not that everybody has to be that way. No, you can be wielding this into your life much better. Okay, so I believe the United States is now ready for to be aware beyond thought. The teachings, what I talk about from Ramana Maharshi, J. Krishnamurti, they embody that. You can be present moment aware all the time. That is there for you. And we can integrate medicine and meditation. Okay, so I'm a physician and informatician. So I can give credibility to this because I'm integrating this into my life, into my patient's life too. So I want to use meditation as a proactive wellness that you could calm your mind, you could reduce your stress, and thereby you help yourself to be well proactively. And that is not crisis management, but more like a proactively being well. Okay, so I believe this is my signature philosophy, and we have to prepare the country for it. And I also want meditation as a community movement. My company is positioned for that to lead the national shift that's happening already out there. Okay, we want to contribute to that. Okay, so the summary is meditation succeeded in the USA not because people became spiritual, but because suffering became intolerable, stress and burnout. So it spreads because science became understanding more of it, and then they understood the significance of silence, and that became medicine. Okay, I use it like that. Okay, and also it stayed because awareness felt like home. Once you are calm and quieted in your inner self, you feel like home, and this will become deeper because people like me, who are physicians, who are healers or whatever, we want to bring that ancient flame into modern hands by living it first and then communicating with other people. So I'm very glad I can help. My mind is in a meditative state. I don't have this stance in mind. Even the provocation of external factors, right? So, so public mental health and these inner technologies of awareness, they are very important. See, from what we know from research, we want to ground this and then really connect it to the proactive wellness vision. So, what do we actually know? Meditation and mental illness incidence and the risk, if you look at it, most research has focused on symptom reduction, anxiety, depression, PTSD, rather than how much fewer incidents. Okay, um, whether who is going to develop this not, nobody really paid attention to it, but still we can infer a lot about risk reduction and relapse prevention. People with depression, anxiety, oh, not only just are helped by it, but we can reduce the risk of. So depression, for example, MBCT, mindfulness based cognitive therapy. Okay, in yoga is called Pratipakshabhava, that was there for centuries. Okay, this has strong evidence when we really look for the studies and all that. This has strong evidence in reducing the relapse in people with major depression when they are in remission. Okay, they have less chance compared with usual care. Okay, and then there are multiple RCTs and meta-analysis. They show 30 to 40% reduction in relapse risk in high risk patients compared with usual treatment medications and send them home. So this does not mean this meditation immunizes these people from depression. It actually shifts the vulnerability, especially in those with patterns that are going to be negative for them, and then they are not going to maintain their positive attitude. If you take anxiety disorders and general anxiety, MBSR, mindfulness based stress reduction, and related programs moderately reduce anxiety symptoms. They reduce across the population, like GAD or social anxiety or cancer patients, any number of patients, you can look at that way. Okay, the number is going down, the intensity also going down. Only those people who are doing it on a regular basis. But that's the populations that they have taken and they have studied, right? So it's a question of understanding how much incidence is going down versus how much can be treated. Okay. So for instance, if you have regular meditation, that is seems to be appearing to blunt chronic stress reactivity. Say HB excesses, autonomic tone, all those things will go down. See, because but the chronic stress reactivity is no risk factor for anxiety and depression. So at a population level, sustained practice is needed and it is likely protective. Even though trials rarely phrase that this is incidence prevention, but only the symptom will be done. And then the fourth group we want to look at is substance use and stress related condition. Is Peter here? I think he would be interested in this. So, in this group, especially in this group, what happens is, yeah, Peter is here too. So, if you have meditation based, mindfulness based programs, they show only small to moderate effects in reducing craving, stress, and relapse in substance use disorder. That is the fact. There's a research result. Since substance use and stress are major risk factors for future mood and also anxiety disorders, reducing them indirectly reduces the future incidence. It's an indirect effect. Okay. So you cannot say for sure, oh, you do this, you will get rid of your craving. You get rid of, no, no, not nothing like that. And then finally, when you look at a group of trauma and PTSD people, there is growing evidence that mindfulness and yoga-based intervention they reduce PTSD symptoms, especially in veterans and trauma survivors. Right. So, for prevention in high stress professions like military, first responders, healthcare people, embedding mindfulness training before trauma exposure appears to improve resilience before trauma exposure. And then they also lower later symptoms, the severity, the incidence through evidence that is still really emerging. I can't say it is already there. Okay. So, does meditation prevent mental illness? The short answer is strong evidence. Meditation reduces the symptom burden, relapse risk, especially in depression, and improves quality of life. That is strong evidence. Moderate but growing evidence is mediation reduces risk factors, chronic stress, rumination, emotional reactivity, poor sleep, substance use, all that, right? Then limited direct evidence is for the long-term population trials. And they say incidence of new depressive disorder uh, was uh, not really that great. Okay, so once you understand where the evidence is standing, then we can look at say, okay, scientifically we can clearly say meditation is a credible evidence-based tool for reducing the burden and recurrence of common mental illnesses. Burden is a symptom, and it likely reduce the incidence indirectly by improving resilience and modulating key risk factors. This is where the resilience, where I talk about being proactive about building that up by engaging in some wellness habits. Okay, that's what I focus on. So all proactive, all the positive, all the things that we could do to improve our own inner resilience. Okay, and you can modulate this risk factors. The stress can be low, sleep can be better, rumination can be better, and then substance use can be withdrawn. All that. Okay, we can train people to be substance-free life. Okay, um, so what are the caveats in this approach? You see, this is not a replacement mindfulness-based practice or meditation practice. So if you are severe symptoms, severe illness, we will go with the medications and with some therapy and crisis care. Crisis care is very important. And especially in severe mental illness or moderate self. So then it becomes a complementary therapy with the treatments that are given. There's really not that sell of hope to us because we don't see many people really improving that way. And then always the dose and the quality matter. Say if you have a 10-minute app meditation app and you're doing twice a week in a 8-week structure of the MBSR, mindfulness based stress reduction with the daily practice, then that matter. Okay, and say only two, uh, but then now we say you use for 8 weeks, 2 to 2.5 hours weekly sessions plus 30 to 45 minutes daily home practice. You go to your, whoever teaching you, whatever the way, you learn from them 2 to 2.5 hours, quite a couple of sessions in a week. And then daily you do at home 30 to 45 minutes. Okay? This is not always benign. Some individuals, especially psychosis, severe depression, and very unstable trauma, they cannot do certain intensive practices because that destabilizes them. So if not proper guidance is there, that's the problem. And with the fusion of clinical screening and graded ancient practice is there, that is very good. You have almost gold results. Okay, understand all this. Okay, and now how am I framing this into my work? Is that be a pal with a proactive wellness. So what we do is we reduce the symptoms and recurrence, but we also focus on the inner resilience. There were all the practices that I advise them about diet, about exercise, about sleep. They're definitely superior than regular medical practice. We don't rely on any medications, but we rather try to reduce the medication of the patient if possible, but slowly, safely, in a way that is not going to be hurtful for the patient, right? So meditation here becomes proactive. It's a mental hygiene practice, like brushing the mind daily. That is what I teach them. How to use the thought, how to really end the thought, how to. Simple thing is, I want people to be aware and not be carried away by the train of thought. I want people to be attentive to whatever they do throughout the day, not just a couple of hours and all that. And that's what happens. Most of the people listen to me and they go and they engage in this talks and all this talk, and they forget to end those talks from their mind after that is done. And then they accumulate the brain fog. And at the end of the day, they have to actively empty them. But how many people are doing it? I don't see anybody coming and telling me I'm doing this every day and this is working for me. So how are going to tie our body of work is if you are working for the body, yoga and breath, that results in calm physiology and better sleep. If you are understanding what is awareness and understand be in that awareness, that is you will be thinking of unnecessary things in your mind less, and also you have more equanimity. You won't react to that way, this way, that much. Then I teach open your heart, be compassionate to everybody, and know that you are all one. And don't have the separations. Even in this app, they showed me that I'm separated, they are separate. But I don't feel that. I feel we're all in one energy. Okay, that's an actual phenomena that I feel. I don't teach myself that. I can see that we are all at the being level are one. Okay, so everybody has to come to that level, understanding on their own. Okay, so that will be good. Now you will have less decrease loneliness, and also you will improve your relationships. See, these are the protective factors. Hi, Lois.
Hey, Dr. Ra, how are you doing?
I am doing great.
I haven't been on it daytime in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, at least on a regular time. I just come on my Sundays. So yes, I like this topic because meditation works for. I'm gonna say you said works for you or not. It works for you whether you know it or not. Okay, even if you feel like you're doing it wrong, it's working for you. You know, because it takes time to get used to doing it. Yeah. And get used to seeing that, oh wow, this is really helping. You know, so to me, it's like I know that throughout the day, you know, I get up in the morning. I usually do my meditation first, but this time I was saying, go in the app, and it was you, and you talked about meditation. Okay, so I usually get up in the morning and do meditation first. I do about 10, 15 minutes. You know, I use my meditation mind app or whatever. But the thing is, throughout the day, when I'm starting to feel some type of way, if I'm feeling overly tired, overly taxed, or I get to the place where I'm like, and I get to talking word salad, I sit down, close my eyes, focus, center myself, and then bring myself back to that calm, to that peaceful state of mind, and then I'm back to normal again. Yeah. But if I keep myself running on that motor that says keep going, don't, you got to finish it now, because I'm one of those people that I was told that I was lazy if I wasn't doing something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know, so it's like do, and I've learned that if I do, my life will turn to do. Yeah.
That is the major problem. Is we are doing too much. We are not being ourselves.
Yes, exactly. We're not taking any time to just be. Yeah. And the thing is, in the being is when the doing gets a whole lot easier. And when I'm being, to get to that place where I can do things and do a lot of things, it's much easier than doing to get it done.
Yeah. You see, the thing is,
I don't understand because it's about divine inspiration for me.
Yeah, when they say be, they think it's the ego. No, it is not the persona.
No. it's just being present right now.
And the energy.
It's not being lost in my memory of whatever the crap that's going on around me. It's not being lost in that. It is being like right here present. Because right here in this present moment, it doesn't matter what's due tomorrow, what's due yesterday. Yeah. If you're in the present moment, you're 100% good. Yeah. You're good right now. Right now, you're good. It's when we start worrying about what we finna do, what we gonna do, what we did do, what we ought to do, what we should have done. Yeah. That's when we get all up in the mindset and your mind gets twisted. That's why I like you said mental hygiene. I'm like, ooh, push the button. Because I do believe in mental hygiene.
Nice.
And good mental hygiene means quieting your mind and allowing your
I use the term PMA, present moment awareness.
Yes, present moment awareness. Yeah. Yes.
Not getting caught in that all the talk about past and future. But here now, what is happening in her? My friend Lois is here, and and we will talk about this being all the time, and being in that means I'm not in the mind.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not saying, oh, I could do this, I could do that. I should. No, I'm just there.
Yes.
Just feeling the
presence.
And if I can't get there like that, I do sensate focusing.
Yeah.
Where I'll sit there and say, okay, how many things can I see? How many things can I feel? How many things can
this is one of the remarkable things for me happened was understanding what is the role of thought and what is the proper way of using thought and not using thought. Mm-hmm. See, when I do the medical science, objective evidence and all that, or somebody in front of me, their body is diseased, their mind is, I want to attend to that. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then I can use the evidence, the studies and all that. But when it comes to the inner aspect of people, their emotions, their reactions, their understandings and all that, that is something in there. Individually, everybody is having these things, but then the way we fear, the way we feel happiness, that is the same. Mm-hmm. No matter where you are, Africa or Russia, wherever, a mother will cry for her son just like anybody else.
Yeah, and I know this too, Dr. Rao.
Yeah.
When I'm doing meditation, I'm able to recognize.
Yeah. Come back, Lois. Finish that thought.
Okay, I was and when I do meditation and I calm my mind, I'm able to recognize that I am not separate from anything or anyone else. Period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
I like how you used to call we're global citizens. I'm not white. I'm not black. I'm not rich. I'm not poor. I'm not any fat, tall, skinny. Yes. I'm beyond that. Beyond
actually, that's not even ideal, Lois. It is a fact. This division, like a Indian American, came later. But first of all, we are on the same earth like anybody else.
Yeah, we're a being.
Yeah.
Okay, we are a being. When we realize that's what we are. Yeah. We are all global citizens, and we don't need to have all those different titles and labels and stuff that separate us, because it's in the separation that we feel inadequate.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, my thing is
an illusion of separation. I'll say
I'm
we're never separate.
I'm happy about India some things. I'm happy about USA some things. Right? Mm-hmm. Why don't I take both good things from both countries and then enrich my life? So. Yes. And also,
I'll say from all countries, Dr. Rao, because that's what I do. I'm like,
exactly.
I learn from this.
You see, I don't identify with anybody because that way I will separate myself from everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't identify. That's all.
And that's the best place to be, is when you're not identifying. Because when I'm not identifying with a culture or race and all that other kind of stuff, I can see myself mirrored through other people.
Yeah.
But if I say I'm separate from them, then I don't see my connection. Then I don't see how everybody is my mirror.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. For the things that I made, for my shadow. Okay. Yeah. The things that I like about myself and the things that I don't.
Yeah.
And the thing is, how do you say that? What do you say? That the thing is, everybody is our mirror. We don't like something in somebody else. That's something we don't like in ourselves. And if it's something we like in everybody else, that's something that we just haven't evolved to yet, and we're being shown, hey, this is possible, because anything anybody can do is possible for anybody.
Yeah, but the unifying energy, when you identify, I am at the being level, only one energy, that is really validated by the physics now in quantum mechanics.
Yeah, and yet they scientifically proven.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing. Look, you're always talking this crazy stuff. That's what I was told. No. Somebody said that.
No.
I said it's not crazy. I'm talking psychological. I'm talking spiritual. I'm talking scientific. I have tied all the ologies together to come up with this point of view that I've gotten. And the thing is that because all of it makes up the whole.
Exactly.
All of it. Not just your good, not just your bad, not just the high or the low. Yeah. All of it makes you who you are. And when you can get into acceptance of the whole, you recognize you are whole already, and that you're part of the whole, this whole kit and caboodle that we call the universe, and the universe is within you, also outside of you.
Exactly. We are all in one universe, and that universe is connecting us inside in the being form.
Yes.
We have different body, different mind, different taste. That's all okay. You can enjoy the life, but don't have this separateness.
Yes. Don't think you're different. You're the only one. And there is no one else out here in this world. Things that go on with you, go on with me, go on with everybody, but everybody responds differently. Because the thing is, I remember feeling like I was all alone in my depression. I was all alone and only one going through. And then as I began to speak and I began to talk to people in my field of work, in the psychological field, I began to see that we all are going through a little bit of each of this. Every one of us. I have not one person who hasn't been through some stuff.
Yes. We're all through the same thing all the time. No problem.
It's the same stuff, the same cycle. We go through the same cycles. We just do it differently.
But what we can bring out, Lois, people like you and me, what we are bringing out is what is possible in a positive way.
Yes. Because the thing is, anything is possible.
Yeah.
If you believe, I'm going to say that if you believe.
And everything doesn't last.
Our thoughts are creating this thing.
Yeah, everything doesn't last. This too shall pass.
Yes. I just told a friend that yesterday. I said that was one of my most favorite sayings, is this too shall pass. Yeah. Everything is always in constant motion.
Yeah.
But thank you, Dr. Rao. I just had to come up and talk to you because I haven't seen you in a while.
Thank you, Lois. I love you.
Okay, bye.
Law is, when we always talk about the inner being, not some abstract thing, but that is the choicelessly there for us. That is the choiceless awareness we have. We really don't, you know, really stay there. We kind of allow our thought to go, take us out of there into the past or future. That's why we don't live in the present, because we're always living in the mind. That's all. Meditation is recognizing that and also really staying in that awareness being, you know. So this they call in ancients, okay, realizing who you really are as a self, as an awareness self. So they said, calm your mind, quieten it, and then let that inner sun come out by self-luminous way. This is a big deal if you take it like a meditation system. You want to study yoga, you want to study Ayurveda, you want to study all those, or Chinese medicine, they're all there. But actually, the whole thing is very simple. I am here. I am here with you at 9:30 or so. I am connected with my friends here and other places also. We are there on LinkedIn and everywhere. And this is life. What I did earlier, what I'm going to do maybe in a few hours, that's not it here. That's not real life yet. Or the one that passed away is already done life. It's not a live life anymore. So for me, presence in this moment, this is life. Anything else is like a persona built. Me, my ego recollects them experiences and laments about them, lives them, and worries about them and all that. Or anticipating some danger, something in the future, and I live in the fear, and then I live in not in life, but in my thought made fear. Meditation is really coming out of the thoughtful thing into the awareness here, presence. So that is the big deal about it. All the mindfulness, all the meditation that you do, they kind of calm you down, but did not take you out of that loop circle of the thought into the presence. But if you realize that is the closest we have, this is the easiest thing we can do. Be present, not in the persona. Use the persona leading the life, but don't identify with the persona and sacrifice the present moment. And the life is here and now, and you can live like that. So that is what I wanted to bring from the ancient wisdom. What they did was, first of all, they are blessed because they have so many things simplified for them. They don't have this noise. They don't have this big deal of so many things we have to listen to, observe, and then all that. Okay, that is one thing. The other thing is the emphasis from the society was human beings are intelligent. We have this intelligence to remember things and also to make lessons out of them and apply them and improve our life. And even animals also do them to some extent, but not to this extent of where we can create things and we can think ahead of us and really plan. But if they don't go the same way, then what we do is we kind of come on that, right? So that's also there. So it's all a question of we realizing what is that we are going to really do with our imagination, is our memory. Use them, but don't go and live there, because that's not life. The life is here. Meditation, the truest sense, is a state, not something mechanical. It's a state of awareness that you are always in, and then you are always present. So, a meditative awareness mind is dealing with a thought and finishing off. It doesn't allow remnants of it to accumulate in our mind. But the present living of unconscious living, allowing all impressions, all conclusions, all judgments, everything accumulate in our mind. And then we say, oh, we fill our mind so much, I want to meditate to empty this. Okay, but the whole thing is improving the mental hygiene and then arriving in a state of meditation where you are alert, present, and in the moment. Present moment awareness. That is from moment to moment. And when you live like that, you don't have mental fog. You don't have brain fog. You don't have so many things buried in your mind. They form their own thought networks and they come up. These are called samskaras in ancient medicine. They understood these thoughts come and go, but only if we give them identity and we hold on to them, we want to live that experience or whatever, then it becomes a real network and you get caught in your own network like a spider. It brings out the fiber from within and weaves the net, and then it gets caught in the net. So, like that, but we do that very quickly and we don't know how to come out of it. Oh, I am this, I'm known for this, I have this taste, I have these ideas, I have this role. We identify everything that is always passing away. The way to live a meditatively aware life is to be in that state of meditative awareness and dealing with the life on a moment to moment basis. Then you don't have anything accumulate in your mind and then you don't have to empty that either. But if you are not able to do that, try this formula that I always recommending. When you get up in the morning, try to be in that awareness. The first moment, instead of allowing the first thought to come and the second, third, fourth, and like that, because it's a very rapid thing. Very without you knowing it, it will happen. But you have to deliberately take deep breaths and bring yourself to this moment by being in touch with the breath. Simple thing. Get up in the morning, sit on the bed, and take 10 deep breaths, and then make sure your thoughts are not going away from your movement, but you are here and now in your awareness. That is meditative awareness, thoughtless, but alert and awake, fully alive. Okay? Stay there as much as possible, and also don't receive all the stimuli, think about everything right away. Okay, what's my main thing in this today? What are the duties I have to do? What are the things I have to attend to? And then determine right in the beginning, I'm going to be in this presence while I do everything. And also, I'm going to pay complete attention to everything that I do throughout the day. See whether you are doing it or not. You'll find yourself you are not doing it most of the time. Okay, you did, and then you still have encounters. You accumulated some responses in your mind. At the end of the day, empty them, throw them away out of it. Don't cling on to them. If you do this actively, then your mind will be clean, and then sleep has the mechanism of detoxifying your mind and your body. Allow that to happen, right? Allow that to happen, and then you will be happy that you woke up with increased energy. There is a advanced way of yoga nidra, that is yoga for sleep. That in that you sleep on your inner being, your awareness, not the so many thoughts, so many worries, so many memories. None of them are going to be there, you know, forever. They will be going, but you can hold on to them. You can cling to them. So don't cling to the impressions. Don't cling to your judgments. Don't. That becomes a habit. Then what happens is, once you establish yourself in your inner being, which is the awareness, then your sleep is deeper, you wake up is much more refreshed, and you will be leading the day with increased energy. Again, the same circle. You are living, all that you don't count how when I'm going to die, what I'm going to, that's all staying in the mind. Face that today, what is in front of me, what kind of day is there, what kind of things I could experience, what kind of thing, be with everything. Go and take a walk on the forest or trees or anything that you have available. Just go and walk and then Don't say anything, just absorb everything coming at you. The light, the sun, the wind, the sounds, the sights, everything. Absorb them without any judgment. Then that becomes a meditative walk. And then you'll be restored at the end of the walk. I preserve this forest bathing for people who come to me because too much information load was there with the EMR data or patient data or whatever they have to do, right? Everybody has that these days. But doctors have come to me because I know the good doctor's life and how to do it. So I tell them, prepare your body, mind, and heart in the morning to be in the present. Then go there and whatever you do, one single task at a time. Don't bluff yourself that I'm going to be more efficient by doing multiple. Then you are fragmenting your attention. Don't train like that. Just the more you are attentive to one task, your attention is much more solidified for the next task. So you will be doing everything with what we call flow state, where you have challenges and you have the capabilities to meet the challenge. When your attention is deeper, the same challenges are easier to do. Excuse me. So that's what happens. Each task, complete attention given, and then you walk away without any accumulation and you kind of feel refreshed. And that is how, when you are in flow, you have the task and you have the ability matching. You have the expectation of the talent matching. Then everything is done easy, no expenditure of worry, fear, or thoughts, but just attending to what is needed for that. You are in flow means you are not having any stress accumulation. You are not really spending that much energy either. At the end of the day, if you retain some reactions, if you retain some judgments, if you retain some conclusions, wash them away and sleep on a complete clean sleep. Then you will be understanding what is being in awareness, which is thoughtless state. And because our original nature is that awareness, that being level, then you don't have the mind going all over. So why do you need meditation system? So meditation is a state, and that is happens normally when you realize who you really are. That they call self-realization. Knowing our true self. The nature of it is silence. The nature of it is sat. Sat means existential. That is existence all the time. It doesn't go anywhere. The being, the life force, and all that. And that is awakened, conscious. That's why Sat Chit. And then Ananda means that is blissful, your inner awareness. That is awakened. And you establish yourself in the true self, then you are in the meditation. All these mindful practices, all these guided meditation, everything are preliminary. They don't lead to the self-realized state that the ancients used for their self-realization. So what that Prabhudeva said, I'm going to teach them what they want to do so that they will do what I want them to do for themselves later. So all the practices, everything that are done in United States or around the world now are really a shadow of the real thing. The people who are realized, understood that they are the inner being and then use the mind according to what they want. They won't allow mind to go on its own, to develop these default networks in the mind. You are doing that. That default network has its own life, has its own data, has its own impressions, and they come back later. It's not just the remembrances, it's a kind of a lived experience like. So When you are unconscious, you are doing things, you are driven by the old samskaras and they come up. Yesterday, my friend Melissa Brent came, and that's what I was showing to her. So, it's actually very simple thing. You are human that has a being. Be that being. Don't think around it. Don't imagine. You just feel that energy and stay there in the present moment. That is present moment awareness. Then you are naturally, meditatively aware. In that awareness, lot of things can happen to you. Lot of things in the creative things. Impulses come from the universal consciousness because you are a conduit. Your mind is not busy chattering away. You are worried about your properties, you are worried about your money, you are worried about your relationship, all that is in the mind. So when you identify body for body, mind for mind, and you have the both of them. But who is that who has that? That is the inner being. If that is not there, the life force is not there, you don't have any use for the body and mind, right? And they don't have anything to say. They cannot manifest anything. So, what is fundamentally you? Identify and stay there. The problem is we made our mind so raucous, so chattering, it takes on itself in the morning. So that's why I understand how it forms its own network and gets caught. And then be very cautious. It starts in the daybreak when you are awakening from the darkness to the light. Okay, in the morning. That's the time when you don't want to allow your thought engine get up and run by its own. It does happen mercurial speed. That's why this long every day remembering I want to be in the present in the beginning, and then I'm going to use my thought throughout the day by attending to the one. I may use thought, but I'll end the thought related to that activity so that I go to the next one with a complete focus. Okay, so this is actually very important topic, and this is not going to be just one talk or something. I'm introducing you why United States accepted mindfulness practices, accepted meditation, but they are not doing in the original proper way that ancient did. This has nothing to do with the religion. It has to do with the technique. It has to do understanding what is what. If you think you are the ego, you are man-made ego, you are lost. But if you think that is there for me to do some external things, but not to identify with that. That's why anything that you are attached to, your country, your religion, your sex, all those things separate you from the unitary thing that we are. So once you understand what is what, then suffering of the body will be suffering of the body. Suffering of the mind will be suffering of the mind. And it's easy to work on them and relieve them when you know who you really are. That's why they said turning the mind inward and then calming it down so that your inner self comes out, because that is self luminous. You don't have to do anything. It is already there. Only take away the coverings that you have created on that. You are with your thoughts, with your ego, with your personality, with your persona, all that is covering this up. Take that wheel away. Let the sun be coming out by itself. When the clouds are there, cloud only merely covering up the sun. Once the clouds are cleared, sun is always self-shining there. It's not that he's doing only after the clouds are gone. Like that, we have our inner self always having this light, self-luminous. Allow that to come out. Don't bring the covers of your ignorance to cover it up. That's all we have to do. That's why I was very positive when they said, end the thought. Then they said, oh, you don't have to strive for self realization. You're already self realized. but you don't see that, and you cover it up with your own conclusions and theories, concepts. That's why lot of Westerners have this conceptual way of thinking. But a concept about a live human being may not be true anymore. You may think this man is very rude, but that man has learned how to be polite. And last year you saw him, he was like that. But then he might have changed now. But if you carry your concept of him to this live human being, and he comes to you with a lot of affection, lot of friendship, lot of love, you miss all that because you allowed your concepts prejudice your relationship. That's why people who are only thinking are racist are at that level. Think only that. They may identify so many things to identify, though these people are different than me, but in our human being, we're all the same. They think we are special, we are different, we are the perfect race. We know that's not true. Don't worry about only white and black here. You go to other countries, they have different way of discrimination. So this happens to have in the human mind and heart. But once you take it away, then you can see the same light in everybody. Remember, they always compare to the light, enlightened. Enlightened means somebody switches on the light, then your darkness is gone. That's one way. But other thing is, are you really having this light come out into the life and then showing you the proper direction? Or are you covering up your life so much you are allowing your prejudices, your judgments, your conclusions, even normal human being relationship, wife and husband, father and son, any of the relationship also these things play. So that's why understanding the movement of thought, understanding what is beyond the movement of thought, and realizing that I'm associating with this movement of thought and all this past and future movement and everything. You could use those movements properly, but you should not identify with them. Then you are in the meditative state. When you are in the meditative state, what is the need to do the control, to do the guided meditation? They are preliminary. Whether I give it or nobody gives, anybody else, people need it. But don't be happy that is enough for me. You got to let the mind completely rest and quiet and allow your inner light to come out. And being in that light and doing things, you don't have to do any meditation because you're already in a meditative state. But at least you recognize my mind is restless. It doesn't have to be like that. My mind is going all over. It doesn't have to be like that. Let me get to the state where my mind focuses everything, concentrates everything, and comes to the thought stream and slows it down to the extent only one thought at a time. And I'll hold on to the one thought for a while, at least greater than 120 seconds. Then I will leap into the silence of my being going over the thought. Get it? If you are able to hold that one thought greater than 120 seconds at a time, try it. You can do even 10 seconds, 20 seconds. You may find you're not, but don't get depressed. Keep at it. Iteratively, you will help yourself, and you will come eventually where the thought ends, and then you are really established in your being. That is what the ancients are aiming for. Not you just calm. See what you do? You calm your mind down for a while. Then you go and participate in a talk or something, and you don't have any purpose in your life. You don't have any organization of your mind. You don't have any control of thoughts coming through you because your nervous mechanism is like that. And then it also builds more networks, and they come. They have their life what they want. So you are always doing that mistake, and then they say, "Oh, I have to sit down and meditate." You may have to do in the beginning, but later on you don't have to. If you really know what is the purpose of the meditation, what is the true meditation, do I have to do it or do I have to grow into that state? You grow into the state of meditation and stay there. Then you don't have to do mechanic. You don't have the mind going all over. That is what I call present moment awareness. Moment to moment awareness. Always going and then not holding on to the experience and the conclusions and all that. So there is a way to clean this up. Suppose you are accumulating like that. At the end of the day, sit down and recollect the whole day and then dump everything, including the significant. How you can write it down for later use. Don't keep it in your mind, right? So this is a very important topic as far as I'm concerned, and that's why you take it serious. And then I'm going to do some 30-day challenges on this. I'm going to combine this with my morning routine. Starting one day, we will start one tip a day for 30 days on this holistic living, where your body, mind work for you, not you are driven by them. Okay, very important. It is needed in this state of affairs we are in around the world. People are very chatty in their head, and they may take some alcohol to calm it down. Or they will. But what I'm saying is, whether you do the mindfulness practice or guided meditation or take an alcohol, they're equally unnecessary. And also, they can be your dependent thing, your crutches. You may start beginning in the beginning, but then from there get rid of it as soon as possible and go to your natural state of presence, choiceless awareness, present moment awareness. Any number of names you can give it, but that's all about it being in the present. Stay there and think purposely and purposefully. Okay. Okinawa is a Japanese, right? There lot of centurions are there. Majority of them, they have a purpose to live. They have a joyful way of living. They are not slave to their mind. And I'm going to get you some of their principles. I did give a talk on ikigai, right? They they have a love to do and they're good at what they are doing, and then they do for some need in the society, and they also get some compensation. These four principles the ikigai does. So the purpose in human life, they said, was ancient said, turn inward and realize who you are. With that act, once you establish there, you are not thinking about it. Actual state of presence, you have established yourself. Then what happens? You don't need to do meditation. You are already in meditative awareness. So I'm introducing this term for you, not mindfulness practice, not guided meditations. I'm introducing you. Those can be started. Nothing wrong. But don't think there's everything. And then meanwhile, you continue to do the damage for yourself by thinking continuously or involving talks and not knowing when to hygiene, mental hygiene. You remember me and Lois were talking about it? That's the one people are not doing it. If you understand all this, then you'll arrive at present moment awareness very quickly and stay there. No, you want your external thing very important and you engage your mind in the wrong way and you kind of listen to that talk, this talk, that scripture, this scripture, oh, ancient wisdom, anything, number of, they are not going to be good for you. They won't achieve what you want to achieve. They say, okay, tranquility, serenity, and peace, happiness, and that's all within, not out there. American dream, go and make a lot of money, that's your American dream. But meanwhile, you are nervous, you are stressed out, you are burned out, you don't have relationship with proper people, you don't enjoy the life. That's what a human life is supposed to be. You may accumulate things and you will never be able to really have that natural joy ebbing out of you. Remember, she said, unalloyed happiness comes out when you allow the being come out. That's true. Moment to moment you will be. And then Outward things may not be right or correct, but you can be stable inside. That they call sthita prajna. The person established in that wisdom will not be emotional turmoils. Okay? They won't go that way and this way. You'll be stable. That's why sthita prajna. A prajna means that awareness. You are stationed in that awareness, but not allowing the mind to go all over. Even if you listen some bad news, you won't have the mind going all over. You take it, you listen to it, but you don't allow the emotional reaction. And then you, not that you're suppressing it, not that you're possibly doing. That's not it. Okay, it's more like, okay, I'm what I'm going to do now. Okay, somebody had a cyber crime done the other day, my friend, and she was very worried. She was very upset and all that. Then I told her, why don't you why don't you really see this reaction for you like a witness, and that has gone down, and then figure out what need to be done. Once I know what need to be done, I will do that without that emotional turmoil. That is Tita Prajna. Raga, Dvesha, Nukta. So he is beyond what is attractive for him, what is aversion for him. Both are wins and losses equanimous. Are you doing that? You can do that. As a human being, you have that intelligence to do that. You don't have to be a great spiritual being. You can do that if you understand it. Very simple thing. Okay? All right. It's almost 10 o'clock and beyond. If anybody wants to stay for some more time and come up and ask me questions or tell me what they are doing. So, Peter, you want to come? So, anybody else, I can call on Peter. That's why I'm calling him. But anybody else can come too. So, here doesn't come unless I call him. That's why I'm calling him.
It's not true. I like just listening.
No, I'm just.
That's what I've been doing for the
I'm
last
pulling
hour.
your leg. That's all. Don't worry.
It's a powerful topic. I really like Loisha's share as well.
Mhm.
And for me, I try to practice present moment awareness. I don't always get it right, but what I've done is I have stepped away from.
Now, let me stop right there, Peter.
Mhm.
Why do you have to practice something you already are?
No, that's a good question. So
No. Put that question to yourself.
Yeah.
That's all.
But
Go ahead.
I guess the better question would be, what then? Why do I have to practice something I already am?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a better question. Yeah, that's a really good
Now,
question.
the point is, you are trying to get something other than what you are by practicing.
So practice. So
Yeah, and also
practice.
other problem you have is other problem you have is you go out with your mind.
Yeah.
And you bring in more stuff and accumulate. And then you say, oh, I have to clean this up, so I have to meditate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that happens. Not as often as it used to, but it definitely does happen.
No, that is the mechanism people going through, not just you, everybody else. Okay.
Yeah. It made a lot of sense when you said that earlier.
Yeah.
A lot of sense. But it's funny because I did have a very meditative walk this morning out in nature with my dog. I was observing him. Of course, he's always just observing and being in present moment awareness.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of enjoying that moment with him. You know?
They are like that. The kids, the dogs and cats, they live in the moment.
Yeah. So it's really neat to. I had a nice brisk walk. It's pretty cold out, but it was a nice walk in the woods. Yeah. So
the question I pose is not a small one. It's a profound one for everybody. See, like this thing is built up in the ancient wisdom also about self-realization, right? And people think I'm not self-realized, that's why I have to go and do all this stuff. Then I will be able to do that, right? Then when somebody like Rabbi Maharshi put a question, you think you are not realized, but you're already realized. You just have to be there.
which probably blew people away when he first said that.
Yes, me. It blew me away.
It was blowing me away now. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because you know what I was thinking, I have to be very ethical, moral. That's true. We have to do that anyway. And I
Yeah.
have to measure up to all these temptations and all these things. God. So I have to do so much. But when he said that, it really kind of shook me to my foundations.
Mm.
And then you know what? What is the foundation of which that is shaken? My persona, my ego, my personality.
Yeah.
That is shaken up. And the more I see, that is a figment of my own creation. And that's not really true. My true thing is already there, choicelessly there. Choicelessly. I don't have to make a choice. It is just there. Once I, you know, see that point from my perspective, everything changed. So ever since I'm in that meditative awareness, don't have to do meditation because my thoughts are stable according to the purpose, according to the organization. I think and I end the thought.
Right.
All without an effort.
Right.
That's the key. You guys think I have to make an effort. No. No practice.
So,
No practice is.
So that doesn't even require practice.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. There's no practice. Just be.
Just be.
Just be.
That really simplifies it.
That's
really
it. That's it. Just be. Don't think. Don't meditate. Just be. You remember, I always say, one's attention has always to be poised on one's inner self. That self is not ego, not persona, but the self is that life force, that conscious being.
Who am I? Who am I? Yeah.
Yeah. Who am I?
Yeah.
And once you realize who you really are, you are in the meditative awareness.
Namaste.
Namaste. It's a beautiful way to be as a human being. It's not that you're superior than other people. You just ended up in the real thing. What's a big deal about that? Everybody has the same thing. They are not doing it and you are doing it. That's all. We are always occupied with external doing. Right? That's why the teaching is not just the doing like in Western societies are emphasizing, but being. Give importance to that also. Anybody else has any comments or doubts or questions on what we are talking about, or is this does it make sense to you at all? Actually, it's the simplest thing. The more we are kind of a thinking, doing person, the less we get this. Otherwise, we can sense it. All we need is some intuitive awareness to turn inward and feel it. Not think about it, not analyze it, not conceptualize it. But that's why these intellectual people can never get it. Because they're always going by the intellect and that goes on weaving its own network. That's good for outward things, mechanical things, not for the live human being. So we conclude with one word, just be. Don't think, don't meditate, but just be your inner being. Thank you, and I will see you back again later. Bye bye.